Let's get it then.
Yeah, let's get
You
it.
ready?
Salud.
Chingale su madre. Let's get it, Cesar.
Let's go. Come on.
Growing pains. We're testing out a new setup, folks.
Yeah, man.
You guys are watching us on YouTube, or if you can just visualize in the audio platforms, we have a new studio setup thanks to the boy Xavier, the homie that lets us borrow the studio in the off hours. He got some texture to the walls. You guys probably can't see the majority of it, but he's got a beautiful yak right above us, which we jokingly say is our effort to get Toros Nesa back into Liga MX.
Come on, Liga MX.
Let's
Make it
go.
happen.
Yeah, but we are here. Last week, unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties with we tried to be cool with it and split up our recording into two because we had a little meeting. And the whole second half did not record. But
we got home and you tried processing it and you're like,
no. But we got a good idea that folks like short content. So maybe we'll get something coming for you guys. A ver que it was a little bit of a pilot, por decir. But yeah, welcome back, folks. We're here for episode 76. We got Cesar and myself, Omar, here for you guys. How you living, Cesar?
I'm living great, man. The rain came back in California. So I was like, yeah, let's get it.
A good amount of the ride, it was like pouring. And then other parts, it was like sunny. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, and then during my lunch today, it was kind of like humid. I was like, damn.
We'll be in Florida?
It was still kind of like overcast, but it's cool.
Yeah, and we have some cool stuff coming up. Cesar, if you want to give a little short snippet of the conference that we're going to.
Yeah, so we got invited to participate in the United Soccer Coaches Conference in Anaheim. That's in mid-January, so January 10th through the 14th. So we'll be there right alongside like ESPN, Fútbol Americas. We'll be there next to Fox Deportes.
Yeah, I don't know what the setup is gonna be like. I was talking to my dad. I was like, I highly doubt I'm gonna be sitting right next to Alexis Lalas, like on a little table or something, right?
You never know, dude.
But you don't know. But yeah, we got invited out to that, so we'll be there. So if folks are going to it, or if you're a coach and you want to head out there, if you want to become a coach, I think it's a good thing. You know more than me about the conference.
I mean, this conference. So I was originally going just as a coach, and you go out there and join meetings or like conferences of people from La Liga talking, or different leagues around the world, different types of people, different coaches, professional coaches, just learning and trying to become a better coach.
Yeah.
They have them every year. Last year was in Philly, and then this year, the 2024, it's in Anaheim. So it's clutch for us. And then we got lucky to get invited out.
So we're set to go. I got permission to go.
Let's go.
We booked our hotel.
Yes,
we're gonna be out there. So if you guys are listening in and heading down there, or if you know people heading down there, shoot them our way. Tell them to say what's up at our booth. We got a lot of top news today. So much so that I got to weed it down. We got Premier League over the weekend. We got La Liga. We got everything. We got Liga MX finishing up their final week of the season. Oh, just a little bit of a spoiler. We'll have a full recap episode separately. So take a look at that. Coming soon. MLS is very much underway with their playoffs, and we're on an international break. So that's what will be the majority of what we're watching this weekend. So let's get right into it. The top news that I think I kept seeing everywhere on Twitter for the past couple days, we'll talk about it, is the Mexican national team getting torched for rumors coming up again, which we've heard over and over and over and over, about players being imposed upon the coaching staff, and that que les ponen ciertos jugadores a los técnicos, no? Especially the técnicos that like buckled under, right? They like allow themselves to be taken advantage of a little bit, right? So Tuca Ferretti is now on that Fútbol Picante table. And he came out and said, they asked him straight up, but do they put certain players for certain coaches? And he just straight up said, yeah.
Yeah, that was crazy. I was like, it's like one of those things that you know it's going on, but to hear it, it's like, damn, bro. Like,
yeah, to see how the sausage gets made is a little scarier than just eating the sausage. But
Ochoa was among those players that.
So they asked Tuca Ferretti, point blank was Ochoa, one of the players that were imposed on you, and he didn't have a comment. So, I mean, if that tells you anything, who would you guess? Give me one player.
Ochoa for sure.
Yeah, outside Ochoa.
Hector Herrera must have been another one.
Hector Herrera's interesting because he was a baller
Back
and
then.
He was an
You're right,
Atletico,
Uh-huh.
but I've heard that he was one of them. But at the same time, they are ballers. And what I also see it is that like sometimes they also force them, even though they'd rather bring local players, right? Like, so if the coach wants to bring Marcel Ruiz, but Televisa tells you, no, we already have commercials set up with Hector Herrera, so you have to call him, right? Mm-hmm. So I also see it like, even if they are ballers and they deserve the call up, maybe they're told bring him because we have commercial needs, right? Yeah. Versus like the coach being like, no, I'm not bringing Europeans this time. And then they're like, no, you sure as hell are. Like Ochoa's a baller.
Right? Yeah. But I mean, he can always like be switched out. Like, why does he have to play every single time? Why are we not like allowing other goalies to step in and try to gain that position, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I wish Ochoa wasn't the case. I mean, like you mentioned, he's good enough to be there and be the starter. But like, I wish there was somebody else that was being propelled that way, I guess, in that sense too.
I think the first person that comes to mind for me is Raul Jimenez at the last World Cup.
Yeah, definitely.
I think there might have been a little, I don't know, under the table action and Tata not being able to say no because they said take this injured old player that's out of form over the top goal scorer at the moment in Europa League in Santi, right? I think that was a clear show for me that like he was being told to do something.
It's the business needs, the money talks. Así es la selección mexicana. Like no other national team does it this way.
Yeah, too much money involved. And then on the other networks with TV Azteca, we had the folks over at what's called La Mesa Caliente or whatever, with Martinoli and all the folks from TV Azteca. They trended as well, talking about the same topic because they started saying that they started calling out Jimmy Lozano as not being able to attend their show and be interviewed by them because he can't answer the type of questions that their network would provide him.
Yeah.
Because they were calling out Televisa. They called them like, porque los de la telenovela, los de la gaviota or something. They were calling them out by like a novela name, being like, because they ask him the softball questions. We would ask him the real questions. What players have you had imposed on you? And they were like, he wouldn't be able to answer that.
Yeah, they were saying, él puede andar in any podcast. Like he's out there with YouTubers, podcasters, radio shows, but he can't come to institution or Televisa like TV Azteca.
Yeah.
Like they're a big network in Mexico. Like, why isn't he allowed there?
I think TV Azteca is number one in ratings. Just that Televisa, has the money and owns the selección, basically, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of craziness. Will this unravel anything? I doubt it because we've heard this before. But
it's an endless money pit. It's an endless cycle of marketing and just feeding this. Oh, we'll get there.
I hope this unravels something. I hope Fútbol Picante and Tuca keeps bringing things to light, and then I hope TV Azteca gets what they wanted and they get Jimmy on. And
There's no way
that they can ask Jimmy some straight up questions because, Jimmy is been positioned as this like technical of the people.
Yeah.
Right. So then come on the stage and tell people like you came in and we all thought you were going to bring in new generations and great new players and change everything up. Right. Did you have that idea? And then you showed up day one and then you were like, oh no shit, I can't do it anymore because I have certain requirements. Right. Yeah. Those are the hard hitting questions. All right. And next top news, U.S. women's national team made the headlines. Emma Hayes, current coach of Chelsea, who is making their way in the Champions League, the Women's Champions League. They're hopefuls for the Women's Champions. I think they're one of the favorites. Has been confirmed as the new U.S. women's national team, one of the most, probably the most sought-after job in women's soccer. Yep. And I think deserved. People hold her as like an expert tactician, and everything she's doing at Chelsea has been amazing so far. So shout out to her.
She played this past week against Real Madrid. A big old controversy there. They ended up
with the penalty.
tying and then losing. But I think overall she's been amazing. This is a great pickup by the U.S. Women's National Team. And it just goes to show, like, she's getting a big salary.
Mm-hmm.
So we're all moving in the right direction, trying to get equal pay for these players. And this is another showing of it.
I mean, it's a huge difference in salary. She's multiple sources are saying that she's going to get paid very similar, if not the same, as Greg Berhalter, which he's getting a salary of $1.6 million a year. To put that into perspective, Andonovski, the ex-coach, was getting about $400,000 a year.
That's insane.
So a huge jump.
I'd take paying more for Emma than having Andonovski.
Yeah. So
1,000%.
So that is a huge jump. It's a huge jump money-wise. It's also a huge jump for women's soccer and equal pay, I believe. I think it's a ways to go for it to trickle down to where everybody gets paid the same as the men's side. But it's great to see that at least a very similar role, right?
Yeah.
I think that's a good one, a good role that can start it off, the coach, because the women's coach is winning it all. The men's coach, not so much.
Yeah.
And Berhalter's not necessarily like a top coach in the world. So.
No. Yeah, I saw another report as well that the coach of Spain, the one that just won, was getting paid even less than what Andonovski was getting paid.
God damn.
He's getting paid close to the 200 mark.
Yeah, I'm assuming Andonovski was the top women's paid coach at that time. But this raises that roof.
Oh, yeah.
This allows for a lot bigger of negotiation by these top women's coaches to be like, hey, she's getting 1.6, give me one. Give me 800K, something like that, right? Which was unheard of before, which is awesome. Shout out to women's sports. Let's get it. All right, the next one that I wanted to call out, a little bit more of a side note, but Leon Cooperman is a mega investor, real estate mogul, I believe, here in the U.S. He's close to buying 1 million shares in Manchester United. And I thought that was a whole bunch until I realized that's only $17 million.
I know when you put that in the notes, I was like, damn, that's a lot of money.
No, it's not.
You're
that
like,
much.
it's just peanuts compared to.
It's peanuts because Sir Jim Ratcliffe is trying to purchase a minority stake in Manchester United, and I believe it's in the billions of dollars, and that's only 25% of it.
Fuck, dude.
So yeah, he's in talks with the Glazers. I was reading a note that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is one of the few investors that didn't want to do a full buyout, like the Saudi state and all these people that are jumping in. He wanted a minority so that the Glazers can stay in charge, but to give them more money. And at the valuation, with him buying 25% of it, was valuing it way over what everyone else was bidding for the whole amount.
Oh, God.
So it made a lot of sense for the Glazers to be like, all right, we'll take your money. You get a small chunk of my pie, and I'm still here. I'm still owner.
The Glazers are just a cancer for Manchester United.
Yeah,
They
it's a
should
curse.
be sold.
No, yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're just not bringing the good vibes. They're not bringing the right culture from top to bottom.
The right players, the right coaches. It's just been toxic ever since Sir Alex Ferguson left. It's just been downhill for Manchester United.
Yeah, and it seems to be this American ownership, man. With them, Todd Bowley, Kroenke for a bit, and with Arsenal now he's doing okay. All right, the last little fun fact that we wanted to throw in there. Big shout out to Megan Rapinoe, who had her final game. She retired after the NWSL final. Gotham defeated OL Reign from Seattle, and in dramatic fashion, but even more dramatic, Megan Rapinoe got injured mid-game, which brought a lot of saltiness from Twitter because a lot of people, I don't know, they get a ride out of being able to make fun of Megan Rapinoe because of her antics, because of her way of being and being outspoken and pushing for certain things. But even more because she came out and said that her injury, if there were a God, this is proof that there is no God.
It's kind of a wild statement.
And it was a bit of a wild statement, but in all honesty, me as a not very religious person, I honestly don't give a shit. And I feel like, in my personal opinion, I think a lot of people are just hating just to hate.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, that statement's used up a lot where you're just like, yo, like my soccer team lost. That means that it's proof there's no God, right? Like, I mean, it's just, but it coming out of Megan Rapinoe's mouth just, I feel like, was throwing gas on that flame.
Yeah.
Everybody was like up in arms, pissed.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like she could have just said, like, bro, like, these things could happen, and unfortunately, it happened to me, and now we move on.
Yeah, I mean,
Had an amazing career.
Choice
but
of
now we'll move on.
choice of words could have been better, but I mean, I think it's in kind of Megan fashion. She's like, she is controversial. She is like these things, right? But at the end of the day, I don't even think this is that controversial. She was just, it was almost like one of those things where you're just like,
Did you say it jokingly, or
she was like joking, but like it's almost like when you say, like, like, God doesn't love me because I just got fucked, right? Like, and it's just like, okay, like, you're not really saying anything that bad. You're just like, I hate my life, right? Like, everyone says that shit all the time, right? I don't know. People were just taking to Twitter and pissed off, but I think they were more pissed off at Megan Rapinoe than they were honestly at the statement.
Got it.
All right, let's move it on to around the league, Cesar. Let's start off in the Premier League. You got to face the music.
Yeah.
Easy. Your Newcastle lost 2-0 versus Bournemouth. Out of everybody.
Yeah.
Bournemouth.
What's wrong with Bournemouth, bro? They're good.
No, I mean, they were bottom of the table until that. So, I mean, tell me that.
Yeah, I mean, Newcastle's got tons of injuries and then suspensions, and it was just a combination.
That's just excuses, dog.
No, yeah,
and we're saying that
at the end of the day, you're right.
And we're saying that because Kieran Trippier had a discussion with pissed off fans that were heckling him. And he turned around and said to them, have you seen the amount of injuries that we have?
Yeah.
And people took to Twitter and were like, you are Newcastle. You are Saudi owned. You have unlimited funds. You have 20 players to choose from, even with 7 of them injured. You have the
7 of our starters.
You have the resources to put out 11 players that can win a game versus Bournemouth.
Okay.
I'm not for heckling of fans heckling players, but I think it's a soft excuse from Kieran Trippier to be like, look at our squad, man. Like, okay, so you're just not going to make top 6 anymore? You're just out the rest of the season? There's going to be injuries the whole damn season.
No. What he was saying was that at the end of the day, it was frustrating for him to play that game. You're in the top league of the world. Right, we've seen worse. We've seen teams have their full-on starters and still lose. Right, so I understand his frustration. I understand that maybe in the locker room they're like, we have a whole bunch of injuries. How are we going to do this type of thing? But that's where Newcastle themselves need to be mentally. If they want to be a top team, they have to still come out and produce.
Exactly, and I think that's what the fans asking for. It's just like I'll go back to, I don't like when fans heckle, but like the response from Trippier to be like, oh, dude, look what we have going on, right? The fans like, we don't give a shit what's going on. You are on the English national team. You are a baller. You're a stud. You're the captain when Lascelles is not in there. You have a front three of Almiron, Gordon, Joelinton. What else do you need to score against Bournemouth? Are you really going to get shut out by Bournemouth, right? The fans are telling them, I think they understand the situation. They're there with them.
But they want higher expectations.
But to have, no matter who it is, you should be able to bring in a U23, a U19 kid and do well, right? Like, I think what they're telling the Newcastle players is, these aren't excuses. You're in Champions League. So what are you saying? We're just out of Champions League because we can't even beat Bournemouth? Because you're saying you're making excuses that you cannot beat Bournemouth? Then what are you going to do when you play Milan?
Yeah.
No. What you want the response to be from Trippier is, bro, like, we got some injuries, but we got this. Like, we're working on it. Like, it's tough, but like, we should be doing better. Right? Not like, hey, brother, like, give us 6 weeks. People will be better. No.
No, yeah. You're right.
Boxing Day's coming up, my guy. Let's go.
You guys bottled it anyways.
Oh, yeah. Now you're fighting back. Okay. Moving on exactly to them. Arsenal, they won 3-1. And what was making the headlines more than anything, because it was a pretty simple win, was Aaron Ramsdale. Because Ramsdale, as we all know, has been basically pushed back into a bench role, the backup to the backup almost. Sometimes he's not even on the bench. Sometimes they'll put in the other keeper, Hein, in instead of him. And his father came out on social media and was pissed off because of the way that he thinks Arteta has handled the situation. And then to add on to that, it was trending on Twitter that Aaron Ramsdale apparently came out in an interview and said that he admitted to not always being focused and that he generally has to like turn to the stands every once in a while. And if you see him on video, he does do it. And there was one goal where there was like a bird on the pitch, and he apparently got like distracted by the bird, got shot on goal, and couldn't reach the ball.
Oh my god!
So a lot of people were taking to Twitter being like, "Oh, is Arteta noticing this lack of focus every once in a while?" And he's like, "I'm not going to risk it. Let me put in the boy that I know does not lose focus, is there 100% of the time."
That's rough, man. I'm wondering if this is because he got Arteta put Raya ahead of him, and then all of this started, because he played all of last season, and I don't know if we noticed any of that.
No, I mean, I didn't personally. I thought he was great. I mean, and then you start seeing the nitpicky, right? And then you're just like, oh shoot, there are videos where he's like, he mentioned in that interview where to like get back into focus, he'll like, that's one of the reasons why he gets into it with the fans, with the away fans.
Oh, okay.
Right, he'll like talk smack a little bit to them, and then that's like, I don't know if he deals with ADHD, but like that kind of allows him to reset and then get back into the game. Because other than that, he's like, I have to like get away from this. I don't know how much validity to give it, but people were like, oh, this makes sense.
It does, but I mean, the dad shouldn't be going out there and kind of like putting him on blast like that. Like, it just causes controversy. I know that he may be working in like internal stuff going on, pero
yeah, the dad doesn't know what happens in the locker room.
De boca suelta, like, that's never good for the player.
Yeah, he doesn't know everything that's going on, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't. These are grown men in jobs.
Exactly.
And Arteta has a job himself, which is to pick the best one. And I mean, we'll see if more comes out. I'm sure it'll come out like a documentary, whatever's going on here. All right, the last one I wanted to call out in the Premier League, Chelsea versus Manchester City, was a banger of a game.
What a wild match.
4-4. What a match. I thought City had it easy.
Yeah, me too.
That 1-0, the first goal that they scored, I was like, papita, let's go. It's going to be 4-0 City. When Haaland scored the first goal. And I was like, give me all my fantasy points.
Fuck.
And then Thiago Silva had to pull them out. I didn't see where they would get it from. And then where did they get it from? From a set piece.
From their captain.
From a header on a set piece from the 38-year-old, 39-year-old, whatever. And he's like, I'm going to put this here on my back.
He's still competing at the highest level. Jesus Christ.
I mean, he doesn't look old.
No, he doesn't.
But yeah, and then it became a spitfire match. City scoring, going up 3-1, I believe, and then Sterling scoring against his ex-team.
Sterling has been balling out this season.
He's fucking fast.
Yeah.
He's a speedster, man. Like, yeah, and he scored against his ex-team, La Ley de los Exes, and then we had one more at the end. Cole Palmer deservedly got his goal.
Bitch-ass Palmer. He cost me the draft.
Oh, really? You lost it because of the goal?
No, I drew, but I would have won.
He deserved the goal, though.
Yeah,
he's been balling out, and he had a little espinita versus City. After he scored, and he did almost like I don't know. Y'all let me go celebration. Didn't hold his tongue.
Good for him, man.
Yeah, I mean,
if he's doing that, a man's got cojones.
I mean, he's 21 years old. He didn't even get loaned. He got sold to Chelsea. So, like, this fool's like, all right, no me querían.
Vámonos.
Sácala de la red, cabrón. Vámonos.
Chelsea's better than Manchester United.
Their situation's better, yeah. Yeah, and they're overall getting better. They're getting results out of Nicolas Jackson. Cole Palmer's the glue.
Cole Palmer. Sterling también.
Sterling is like that additional X factor that you're just like super glad that you have an extra player that's tearing it up, right? You don't really need him, but you're just like, oh shit, that's helping out a lot.
Yeah.
But Palmer's the glue. That middle of Enzo and Caicedo starting to get a little bit better. Cucurella, I think, fell perfectly on the wing. Reece James coming back.
Yeah.
It's getting a little better. Robert Sanchez is a stud too. And keep.
Yeah.
All right, let's take it to La Liga. Cesar, Girona stays at the top.
Let's go.
They beat Rayo Vallecano 2-1. Yeah, and everyone keeps talking about this drama with City about how one of them is not going to go to Champions League.
They gotta drop one, yeah.
Obviously, it's Girona.
No, they have to keep Girona.
You want them to keep Girona.
Yeah,
it would be very nice, pero así no trabaja el mundo. They should if the business of Citigroup wants to spread out the love financially.
Hell nah.
But at the same time, they need to win Champions League, right?
Yeah.
So then they're like, okay, Girona's not gonna win it, and they're like, but City.
But they might win Europa, so that's what they're gonna send them.
Exactly. But it's so much less money.
Yeah.
I was reading like you get like more money making it out of group stages in Champions League than you do winning Europa.
That's insane. Imagine how much they get out of the Conference League.
A little coupon.
No
yeah, if you win it, you get a coupon and a free entry into Europa, and then Europa you win it, free entry to Champions League. Yeah, they stay ahead of Madrid by 2 points.
Let's go.
Which we love these stories, man.
Keep it going.
Even though it's technically another conglomerate, so like,
true,
it's not like a little.
But like, you feel happy for the fans, right?
Yeah, get a little competition. Que no nomás sea Barcelona, Real Madrid. Que sea algo más, algo diferente. I would have wished it would be Almería. Who would you like to win it? Like underdog in La Liga.
Like super underdog? I mean, Las Palmas.
Las Palmas would be.
They're out of way out there in the island.
Yeah. I mean, I'm telling you, Rayo Vallecano, I think would be a cool story. I mean, they're always known for being very fast, passionate team. Girona doing good is great for all of us, for footy fans overall. Get some competition in La Liga. All right, Real Madrid beat Valencia 5-1.
That Real Madrid's chugging along.
Yeah, I mean,
no problem whatsoever.
The easiest formula for them is just stay as close as you can to Girona. Wait for them to slip up. Vámonos.
Yeah,
facilito.
Ahí van a estar.
Te los brincas como si nada.
Bellingham.
Shoulder injury. He was out. So they had what's his name? Brahim Diaz in his second game. Last week he played and he scored a goal.
And then goalkeeper
Lunin.
Ukrainian.
Yeah.
Second game.
Because Kepa got hurt warming up in Champions, huh?
Yeah, and then he saved the PK in Champions. So now he's living a high.
That's what you need, dog. Like you get called upon, and you deliver.
And then now everybody's paying attention to you. Now you can get like a Sevilla next season type of thing.
Yeah. Barcelona beat Deportivo Alavés 2-1. And they were losing at the beginning, and then they came back and won.
Yeah, they were losing like off of the first minute. I was like, I got a notification que empezó el juego. Barcelona Alavés started. Barcelona 0, Alavés 1.
At the first minute.
Madre.
You're like, ni pude disfrutar que ya
apenas me llegó el pinche notification y ya me llegó el segundo que nos metieron gol.
So Lewandowski scored 2. But what I want to call out from Lewandowski, Cesar, you see that video of Lamine Yamal trying to give Lewandowski a little what's up, a little love tap, a little dap me up, and Lewandowski brushes him off. What's that all about?
I don't know, but that don't look good, bro. Just from optics right there, that does not look good.
Nope.
I don't know what the story is behind. I don't know the context, maybe a few minutes before or whatever, lo que sea. But just that clip that they showed, I was like, bro, like this looks so bad.
Whatever the story behind it is, it's a 17-year-old kid.
Yeah.
Your prodigy at your academy of the institution which you belong to. Bro, give my boy a little dap him up, give him some love. Like, yeah. I understand maybe you're trying to give him tough love or something, but wait, no manches.
Yeah, and then this is going to fuck with his mind. He's only 17, bro. He's just came into the world. Like, like this is going to fuck with his mental fucking, like, whenever confidence.
Maybe it'll make him more of a dog. He scored today with Spain.
He scored today.
He's like, I'm pissed off, dog.
He's 16. He should have been playing at the World Cup. The U17 World Cup, and instead he's playing against for the Euros
and scoring
with the senior squad. Like that fool's a baller.
Yeah, I mean Lewandowski had a leg to stand on because he scored the 2 goals here, but like, bro, there needs to be a little bit of
brotherly love,
love, cohesion within the team. ¿De qué te sirve? Le das un morrito. Ayúdale, enséñale buenos pasos.
We'll see. Did you also hear que Rafa Marquez, if Xavi doesn't do good, Rafa Marquez up next?
Yeah, pero ya con eso se conforman.
Okay. Pues no me...
When is Xavi going to leave? That fool is supposed to be the forever coach. They want him to be like Sir Alex. They want him to be like Pep. Like, tú vete cuando te da la gana, compa.
Aquí esta es tu casa.
Esa es tu casa. Y, a ver, quítate los zapatos. A ver, entra.
No, I mean, I think what both of them are doing is really good for Barcelona overall.
Yeah, the 1-2 punch right now is killing it,
They're
right?
killing it. Barcelona Athletic is doing really well. And you've seen all the players go from Barcelona Athletic to the first team, like Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, he's feeding great players in there.
Great players.
I mean, the dude that's actually at the U17 World Cup, Gui, Mark Gui, no?
The one that scored
he
like
scored like
20
seconds in 20 seconds into his debut. Yeah.
Second touch. Yeah. He was a baller también.
So right now Rafa Marquez is looking good because he can get the most out of the players that he has and feed him into Xavi. That's literally A+ on his job description. He's doing everything that he needs to. The tough thing is Xavi, I think, is going to be there a while, so I don't really care too much about that statement. But if Xavi leaves, Barcelona is going to be in shambles because he had left. And I don't know if I want Rafa Marquez in that coaching situation.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And it's going to be really bad, even worse for Barcelona if they can't like fix their financial shit. Because right now the formula is working really well. Rafa, you get these players ready for Xavi to
get us cheap players because we can't afford others.
And then maybe I'll sell one of them and get like really good money, and then we get 2 players.
Yeah,
for the senior squad. If
Yamal is killing it, why do you need Ansu Fati back? Ansu Fati is killing it at Brighton. Vámonos. 30 minutos, por favor. Vámonos.
No más, güey. 60, and then you buy 230.
Papá.
He's worth the 60, bro.
No, Ansu Fati is not worth 60 because nobody even wanted him. That's why they loaned him, right? So like, I don't know. If I'm another team, I'm like, te doy 25. Even 6.
¿Cuánto está Santi? How much is he?
40.
40? Yeah, you're right. Maybe Ansu Fati's not worth 60.
I got that. That's your gauge. All right, let's bring it on to the Bundesliga. We know how fun and competitive that league is.
Let's go.
Stuttgart won 2-1 over Borussia Dortmund. That's actually a great game. We called it out, but it didn't come up in the recording. So we hope that you guys just telepathically knew to watch that game. But Guriasi, the amazing sensation out of Stuttgart, came in and he scored.
Yeah, he came back from injury. Again, we called it out in the recording, saying we don't know if he's going to be back this game, but if he is, watch out for him.
Watch out for Stuttgart, that they would be better with him, huh?
Exactly. And look, they scored. He came in at the 70th, and then he scored off of a PK. I mean,
he needs to get back to it.
He needs to get back to it.
Está.
Got the dub. What else do you want from my guy?
Yeah, that's true. 20 minutes, gets a goal, so he se recuerda del gol. And then you also don't risk him pulling that hamstring again in 20 minutes, right?
Exactly.
Gets that confidence. Next game, I'm starting to score those 2 to 3 that he usually does.
And this was against Borussia Dortmund, so it was a tough squad for sure.
Yep, tough squad. Stuttgart's in 3rd, right above Leipzig. But Bayern won 4-2 over Heidenheim. Facilito came with a brace.
Yep.
Per usual. Bayern Leverkusen won 4-0 over Union Berlin, who is still struggling.
But
we also called it out. Did not come out in the recording. But Union Berlin had lost, I believe, 11 games in a row. And then they tied in Champions League, their first tie in God knows how long. And then they played the number 1 team overall in Bundesliga.
Got destroyed.
And they got smacked 4-0. And, yeah, I don't know who's going to stop this Bayer Leverkusen team. Maybe just Bayern.
They tied last time they played 2-2. So yeah. I don't even know if they're able to. I think only if you get injuries or, I don't know, going a bad batch where your players like Grimaldo don't show up.
Grimaldo, Florian Wirtz is tearing it up again. But, yeah, I just feel bad for Union Berlin.
Where's Granit Xhaka? Is Granit Xhaka at Bayern también?
Leverkusen, yeah.
Bro, that was a low-key, sneaky pickup.
That was a sneaky pickup, but I think Xabi Alonso knew exactly what he was doing.
No, definitely.
He's like, dame mi pinche gatillero en el medio, mi pinche capitán, el que me va a mover todo. Right? That's a perfect pickup, especially for Bundesliga.
Yep.
But yeah, Union Berlin 6 points total and 18th, dead last.
Wow.
Yeah.
Que suenan las alarmas.
Yeah, 2 wins, 9 losses. They need to sound the alarms. They need to do something for here and for You're in champions.
Yeah, bro.
You're sure as hell not going to be in champions next year.
Bro, it's so funny to me that the Ultras, I think it was their first or second match in champions. They're like, don't worry, guys. We're just happy we're in champions. And fucking 7 games later, they still haven't won a game.
¿Y de qué les sirve estar en champions? Van a irse para la casa.
Más peor. Se van a ir a la casa and then van a descender en la segunda.
I mean, they could just win 1 game and they're fucking out. 2 games, yeah.
They haven't won in the past 10, 12.
Pero es buen equipo. Tienen que chingarle. All right. One thing to call out quickly in Italy. Inter won 2-0, but they got a banger from Di Marco from halfway.
From like half field.
It didn't even look like he was trying to kick it to goal. Like, he kind of like the form, you know, when you got to do a long shot, you just lean your body back, you kick it hella hard.
Yeah.
He's kind of running forward and just like, think. It's like right over the keep.
Dude, that boy has massive thighs if he can do that, or calves.
For real, he's just like, I don't know. Desde aquí la meto.
And did you see the way, like, the goalie was reaching and then, like, went in, like, a little space, right, like, big enough for the ball?
Yeah.
I was like, bro, like, that's insane to make it.
But those plays, the blame's on the keeper, no?
No, I mean,
to get scored on from that far and you are in the general area, it generally is the keeper, right?
okay, but he just had crossed half field.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. Like,
Entonces, ¿de quién es? Like, la defensa, yeah, you let him shoot, but, like,
no es
who would
culpa
shoot desde ahí?
If you want to blame someone, okay, blame the keeper.
It is.
But in reality, like, that was just a tremendous strike.
It's a freak goal. It's a tremendous strike.
Goal. Like, I'm telling you, the space that the ball went in was, like, barely big enough for the ball. The way the goalie was reaching, the where the post was. It was just 1 in, like, 1,000 that he tries.
No, pero pues no, era culpa del portero. No. Yo como defensa, I'm looking at my keeper. Hey, yo, okay, what's going on?
Güey, no lo dejes tirar, cabrón.
Pues sí, pues por eso lo paré acá. I stopped him at the half field, but then he turned me, and then he shoots from right there.
Exactly.
You let it go
he
in.
Turned you. Why
Where you at?
Foul him, bro.
Yeah. No. All right, let's take it to the Netherlands. Feyenoord won 1-0. They keep winning, even though Santi does not keep scoring. He has 4 games without scoring, which is starting to sound some alarms. People are saying Raul Jimenez will start over him now because he miraculously scored 1 goal with Fulham, and because Santi hasn't scored in 4. Are you worried?
No, I'm not. I was watching an interview with the Chaco Jimenez, and Chaco was saying exactly what's going on now. The interview with Peláez came out before these past 4 games, and he was saying, Chaco was telling his son, yo, mijo, like, you're going to have times where you're going to be on fire like you are now, but there's going to be times where you're going to go on a drought for like 10, whatever, how many games. But the whole point is that whatever you're doing now that you're practicing, you have to keep it consistent, because those times are going to go. As long as you stay consistent, you're going to go back to scoring, or you're going to have droughts. But what matters is that you stay consistent and keep progressing your game. It's just natural for that to happen to a striker. Sometimes you're not going to score.
Damn, we need more Chacos in this world as parents of their kids. Imagine having an ex-national team superstar as your dad.
Dude, that interview is really good. It kind of gives you an insight on how, like, the mentality of that family.
The whole family, they're very humble. They're very, they have their roots in traditional values. They're very religious, right? So they attribute a lot of their success to God and everything, which I think keeps them very humble.
Yeah.
No, but shout out to that fam. We saw the video of Santi and how he celebrated his Champions League goal with Fer, where they had a shit ton of food. They were going up to their hotel, and everyone's like, ya conocí la envidia.
Imagine scoring 2 goals in Champions League on your debut, and you're like, what do you want to eat? Oh, my God, I need a restaurant. Fancy restaurant, because I just scored in Champions. Santi? Nah.
No, but that's just what we've seen in all these videos, right? Like, very humble. even his girlfriend, they're so bubbly together and they just have a good time, right? And none of the bells and whistles, nomás a mi fer aquí al ladito,
And
¿no?
some pizza.
Sí, pues qué más.
Well, that's all they need.
La felicidad
No, pinche envidia.
en la vida.
I'm
Dios, cuando me toca a mí.
gonna play more COD so I find me a fat.
I know, bro. No, estás a encontrar little kids, no mames.
All
right, let's bring it to CONCACAF. Liga MX. We got the final week of Liga MX. We got the playoff situation completely situated. It's all good and ready to go. Let me pull up my table just to give you guys a bit of a snippet because, like I said, we're going to have a full episode on a recap. Let us know in the Discord what you guys want to hear, but we'll talk who's the top goal scorer, who had the most assists, who's our surprise, who, like, what the hell happened to Juarez, who was number one.
Más?
Yeah, exactly.
Who had the worst season and that you expected would do better.
Exactly, right? We'll give our predictions for the playoffs, everything. It'll be fun. But what we got a top 10, right? And then there's a play-in tournament, 7 through 10 play against each other to figure out who 7 and 8 is at the end of the day. So we got America number 1, the America.
Let's go.
I believe the first team to hit 40 points in these short tournaments. Calmate. And then we got Monterrey in second with 33. We got Tigres. Pumas ended up fourth. And Chivas, because they lost, we'll talk about it in a second, dropped down to fifth, 27th. And now they gave up the home field advantage to Pumas. And then we got Puebla. Surprised everybody with three free points that they got. And then their win brought them all the way from 19 points to 25 in sixth place, all in 1 week.
Los Camoteros.
Puebla desde la cuna, cabrones. San Luis got 7th, a bit of a surprise.
Definitely.
León got 8th. Santos got 9th. Mazatlán got 10th.
Vamos, el craque.
Wow, what a surprise.
FC.
What a surprise. They did it by beating Toluca head-to-head. ¿Qué más querían? Did you know that Nacho Ambriz is not there anymore?
Yeah, it's been like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, we didn't even cover it. Goddamn, somos pendejos. And then Mazatlán, in last, which left out Pachuca, Toluca, Tijuana, Querétaro, we all knew. But left out 3 amazing teams, in my opinion.
Yo, I just want to call out fucking Querétaro did so well in League's Cup.
They were alive until the last moment, and then they tied Monterrey. They had it right there.
Yeah, true.
But, yeah, we'll talk more in depth what happened to Juarez. They were doing so well at first with all the young Chivas players. They beat
America.
Yep. What happened to America? Goddamn. All the way at the top. What happened to Chivas?
What happened to Toluca, Cruz Azul?
Yeah, Cruz Azul. Yeah, we'll talk about all that stuff. Let's talk about what happened in this last week. Pumas.
Chivas.
Yeah, let's face the music. Pumas beat Chivas 1-0. The biggest headline, Alexis Vega was getting booed.
Yeah. Not only booed, he was getting called drunk.
They were chanting borracho. And then just to add salt on the wound, he goes in. You're like, all right, baby, like, come on, score a golazo. Give us an Alexis Vega golazo. Do something. Get the fans back on your side. They get a penalty kick. Off of his free kick, he hits it, and then I think Del Prete, turns and gets a handball, penal. And then Alexis shoots it. And at first you're just like, bro, what are you doing? You've been suspended 2 games. I don't think you practiced very much. Why is Paunovic allowing this? And then he misses. Pues más bien, Gonzalez, the keeper from Pumas, blocks it. Bien.
Yeah.
But horrible take.
Yeah, the way he took that was terrible.
2 steps. Puts it right at mid-level for the keeper. And you're just like, how can things get any worse? Like, why are you doing these? Let somebody else take it. Don't be the villain.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I get secondhand embarrassment from your Chivas.
It's so bad. But then everybody you got to take a step back and think about it.
Think about what?
Paunovic.
Okay.
You suspended him.
Yes.
Why is he taking the PK?
Because Pauno doesn't have set.
And that's the thing. People are just like, okay, like Paunovic, some of these things are really simple and kind of dumb mistakes on your part.
Yeah.
Tú impones quien patea los penales, los tiros libres, todos los balones parados, right? Somebody there should have taken that instead of him.
Yeah.
but Piojo wasn't there. I don't know. Maybe Guti wasn't 100%. But I don't. It was just a horrible situation, and I don't think Paunovic's hand was there to be like, all right, like this person needs to do it.
I feel like this goes in hand with Nene Beltran was saying. Did you hear what he said at that podcast?
That they don't have the leadership. They don't have that dog in the locker room.
Nope. I think you guys don't have a captain that has say, that has word, que tiene palabra, those old school captains.
Yeah.
You don't have a coach who has say either. You don't have a coach who impone sus reglas. We've seen it with Alexis going doing his shit in Toluca and coming back like nothing. Like, we've seen it. Like, clearly he's not the man for the job.
Yep.
And on top of that, you don't have a captain in the locker room to go in there and say, no, this is what we're going to do. Amarras en huevo. Me vale verga que eres Alexis Vega, que traigas lo que traigas. I'm taking it from now on. I'm taking control of this locker room. You guys do not have that.
Because they have veterans. They have older players.
El Oso taking it? Why is it?
Because that fool's not like a leader. That's not like a leader. He's just a veteran, right? There's a difference between a veteran and a leader, right? A leader is Chapito Montes. A leader is Miguel Ayun. A leader is like these players. They're old. They don't have to be older, right? Pero dicen, vamos a amarrarnos un huevo y vamos a ganar este pinche partido. And I've seen videos where El Pocho Guzman does it, but at the same time, you have to also show that on the field. He did last season. He tore it up. We've been talking about it. This year, he's not tearing it up as much, right? But he's still on video being the guy in La Bola telling them, like, we have to show up for these fans. We got to kill it,
Was
right?
he on the field?
He was subbed out at that point. But then you look at who was in at that point. You look at who was in. Brizuela can shoot it, but, like, he doesn't shoot them, right? Marin was still in there. Marin will not shoot it for you. Padilla had already been subbed out, but he's whatever. Nene Beltran is not really your PK taker, right? Mozo is not going to shoot your PKs. Chicote Calderon's not going to shoot your PKs. I personally think Pollo Briseño just needs to fucking
he was
grab.
in?
Yeah, he was in. He was in the whole game. He just needs to grab the ball and be like, brother, I was a captain at the youth levels. I know how to fucking do this at the big moments. Let me take it. But Guti was in.
Dude, no, pero Guti just got there.
Doesn't matter. Like, brother, you're the European guy. No. When you bring a European back, they have to step up.
No,
and this is what we've been saying. Yes. Guti hasn't stepped up this whole time. What Nene said is true. They don't have that leader. And that's what I think Chicharito would bring. And people gave me mixed replies on Twitter when I said, Chicha, come home. But Chicharito is that guy you need. He doesn't have to start, but you need that in the locker room.
Yeah.
You need that grown-ass man that's been successful to come back and say, be successful here, and this is how you're going to do it. And anything else than that, I don't accept it, right? Yeah. And same with PKs. Like, I just don't see quién de aquí, like, lo va a tomar.
Yeah, you guys have fallen far, bro. I think of Chivas. I think of Héctor Reynoso. I think of Ramoncito Morales. I think of Omar
They're all
Bravo.
Grown-ass men.
They were grown-ass men, the same age as these guys, but having the cojones to be like, we're going to make it happen. We're going to win championships. We're going to go to South America and beat all these teams, Boca Juniors, quien sea, El Bofo. And to see you guys go into podcasts and say, no hay un líder natural.
Well, no.
I mean, they all... Like, bro, you got to be kidding me.
The thing is, the players that like become veterans, they're like Brizuela and them. They're not taking on that role, right? Like they're not.
Pussios.
They what?
Sorry, I'm just mad because you guys suck.
They don't, brother. This is a horrible season by Chivas. They ended 5th. También no tenemos que andar también exagerando. This is a bad season for Chivas. All the drama that they had, and they're in 5th. And if they beat Pumas, les va a tocar a América. Fácil.
Yeah, no, pues no tan
fácil. It's not that bad, but it is. There is a level of expectation that Chivas, I think, is slowly starting to get to where people are just like, all right, okay is not okay, and that's what it should have been the past 10 years, and it hasn't been, but it's getting to that, right? So now Chivas is really starting to realize this. They need to bring in Chicharito. Carlos Vela is not going to come to Chivas. I can guarantee that he will not come.
Yeah.
Pulido saying he wants to retire at Chivas, but then he signs a extension. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's all bullshit.
Chicharito would fit perfectly into that role.
Bring him into the locker room. Tell him no more partying, dog. Ya deja esas madres. Agárrate el locker room. Agárrate los morros. Enséñales. Vámonos.
Especially that young kid.
Yael Padilla.
Yael Padilla.
Make him a killer.
That fool needs somebody to look up to and to train with. Imagine training next to Chicharito. Like, that'd be insane.
Yeah, pero a ver si arreglan las cosas. But a big thing, I give some blame to Paunovic.
No, I think
allowing Alexis to shoot it.
80% of that blame is his.
Obviously, the one that's going to get booed is Alexis when they play in Guadalajara next.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Paunovic didn't take El Piojo Alvarado to this at all because he has 4 yellow cards in a must-win game. They could have even tied. They could have tied. But he leaves Piojo home because he doesn't want him to get a 5th yellow card.
Your coach is a joke.
It's such a dumb move. Like, you can play in a certain way where you guarantee the player will not get a yellow card if they're not stupid. But how are you going to take the player that's been at their best moment out of the equation when you need to win the game?
Yeah.
You have to win it. That'll take us right into that. Tigres tied versus America 0-0. It was a very entertaining game, I thought. It was very offensive, even though it was 0-0.
Yep. It gave you playoff vibes.
Yeah.
It was a playoff game
because both
in
of
a regular season.
These two teams, when it comes down to when they need to, they play like playoff teams, like much higher level than what you see from the bottom level Liga MX teams. But it was a lot of fun. We saw, what's his name, Marcelo Flores hit a little tijerita.
Yeah, his dad was tweeting, I imagine if this went in. I was like, bro, it was cool.
Like, but it didn't.
But, like, don't tweet it, bro.
No, but yeah, both sides look like very aggressive, very dangerous. It makes me excited for this playoffs.
Definitely. Yeah, we were out in a restaurant and we were watching it on the TV and I was like, bro, this is a good game.
Yeah. And exactly what Tuca said. There are teams out there that can beat America.
Yeah. Pero no. America just, had a...
Tigres is a playoff team.
Yeah.
They're a single elimination team. They are, nos agarramos en el playoffs, eh?
Sí.
Por viejitos.
No, I mean, Tigres is just, they have so many offensive, capabilities. Like, they're a really offensive team. They're fun to watch. Their right back is Aquino still, and that has been right wing his whole friggin' career up until Tigres, and that just tells you of that mentality. Yeah. Same with America. America had plenty of opportunities.
Okay, the last one that we just wanted to call out quickly, Puebla, the way that they got into the playoffs, into top 6, was by beating Cruz Azul 2-1. Puebla knocked out Cruz Azul with that. They snuck all the way into 6th place, and honestly, they're coming in with some good momentum.
Hell yeah!
They got a new coach now, a Mexican coach, so it's pretty solid to see them. Being there, they get out of that play-in. They go in directly. So that's great for them, para los enfranjados.
Yeah, they were so happy when that game ended. They were, running across the field to hug, especially the goal scorer.
Guillermo Martinez,
who's been killing it, by the way.
Yeah, shout out to Guillermo Martinez. Where are my notes? I got it right here.
Mexican, he's 28 years old.
Yeah, Liga MX lifer, even Liga de Ascenso. He played at Celaya for the longest time. He was an ex-Chivas for a little bit. Super tall Mexican striker. Had 10 goals this season and isn't even getting looked at for the national team.
Nobody probably knew his name until now.
I think after a certain amount of goals, by default, somebody needs to give you a little call to that national team for some of these games.
You're doing good. Keep it up, and I might call you for the game in December.
Yeah, para la banca or something. You got to bring him.
Reward these players that are doing so good.
He deserves it. He's the only Mexican player at double-digit goals.
He's second, right? Right behind the Santos guy.
But yeah, the only Mexican goal scorer with double digits, 10.
But that Puebla team just are good in the air. That's all they do. They just go wide and then give you a cross.
They got Brian Angulo. That dude's killer out wide.
Yep.
Brian Angulo out wide, and then they got Velasco. Yeah, this team is going to be dangerous.
They have a good goalie, too. Low-key, Rodriguez has been killing it for them. Jesus Rodriguez, also 30 years old, so he's a bit older, pero ahí están. Ahí van.
There, hay calidad. All right, yeah, so keep an eye out for Puebla. They might make it a little deep. Who knows? Let's bring it to the MLS. Just to bring us on home. Seattle Sounders eliminated FC Dallas. I don't know who thought FC Dallas would have moved on, but I mean they got a little lifeline. They got a win at home, and then they went back to Seattle, and then they lost. But my biggest point with MLS is so much gap between games, dude. The last MLS game in playoffs was on Sunday, and they don't play until November 25th.
So that's next week.
Yeah, over a week from today.
Yeah.
Saturday of not this week, but the following week. God damn. That's too much break. A Houston Dynamo eliminated Real Salt Lake in PKs. Hector Herrera is getting all of his flowers for his performances in MLS. He got player of the match. He made his penalty kick. Diego Luna, our boy, friend of the podcast.
Luna.
Not actually a friend of the podcast.
No, but if he wants to.
Yeah, we wish. But he missed his PK. You know, from 0 to 0.
But he scored the one to, so.
To even keep them there, no?
Exactly. Give him a chance.
Yeah, but no. He needs to get some call-ups. He had they asked him this week about what does he think that Greg Berhalter's not showing him any love for the national team. And he said, he's like, it is what it is. He's like, I'm working. I'm continuing to work hard. And if they don't want to show me love and give me a call, pues ni modo.
That's that mentality, though.
But he deserves it. Like, bring him to the bench. I know they got a lot of European dudes, right? But, like, they need to show some of the standouts. Get them some minutes somewhere. Get them a call-up.
Y si no, if he wants to represent Mexico.
He should. He could still do the one-time switch. So maybe he should add a little bit of pressure by, I don't know, answering the phone de la bomba.
A little Cendejas action.
¿También que se venga Cendejas, or what do you mean?
No,
or that
Cendejas
switch
was playing the double role.
I mean, I think he would kill it in Mexico.
Yeah, but
more natural 10.
I met his dad once, and we were talking about that, and he's like, es que Mexico nunca lo llamó. So Diego Luna has always said, I don't feel represented by Mexico. So I don't even bat an eye.
That's true. I mean, yeah, I feel like Mexico, sometimes they're just a little fucking lazy. I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like they just don't care about certain players. And they're like, yeah, he's killing it. But we never called him, so we're just not going to anymore. And it's just like, dog, like,
malo. But it goes hand in hand with the whole Televisa thing. Like, America brings their players and, this is the guy that's going to be the next superstar for the next 7 years, 10 years.
Y lo no acaba nada.
¿Qué pasó con Diego Lainez? ¿O Córdoba?
Todos. También el Mozumbito.
El Mozumbito. No,
hombre.
Mozumbito.
No, that brings us to a final 8 in MLS. In the West, we got Houston versus Sporting Kansas City, who I think are the dark horses. Sporting Kansas City, the best record in the past.
Definitely.
The best record in the last couple of months in MLS, but nobody saw them coming anyways, and they're still there after beating St. Louis.
Yeah, con la planadora.
Seattle Sounders versus LAFC. That's going to be a good one. 2 powerhouses in the West.
Definitely.
Orlando versus Columbus Crew.
My money's on Columbus.
That one's going to be a good one. And then what I think is the best one, the best game of this round, Cincinnati versus Philadelphia.
They're all good, bro, but I get what you're saying. Cincy's just killing it.
Cincy's number 1, and Philly, you can never count them out.
Yeah, and they were finalists last season as well. So I think these are very deserved top 8. So it's going to be fun to watch.
Lit. All right, let's bring it on home, Cesar.
Let's go.
All right, Cesar, let's give the people something to watch. We got an international break.
Yeah, so I have Scotland against Norway. You have the Scottish that have been doing really well in these Euro qualifiers. And you got Norway that just wants to pick up some points with Erling Haaland.
I'm bringing it to the youth side. We got England U17s versus Brazil U17s in the U17 World Cup. Also in the U17 World Cup, we got USA versus France. This USA squad's been killing it. They've been beating everybody in their path. But we all know French youth squads are a whole different beast. In
the Euro qualifiers, they got Portugal against Iceland. Iceland need to get some sort of points to stay in the race, to stay in the playoff position for the Euros. So we'll see if they can get anything out of Portugal.
Here in the Nations League, to qualify for Copa America, we got Mexico versus Honduras. And going along with this game, we're going to be streaming it live, so keep an eye out for the links that we'll share on social media. Yeah, you guys can just jump on, watch along. We'll be talking smack about what's going on in the game. It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and drinking some chelitas too. In CONMEBOL, I got Brazil against Argentina. It's a great game. Brazil just lost against Colombia, so they need to pick up some points. And you have Argentina, who just also came out from a loss against Uruguay. Both teams are hurt. Both teams are going to try and win this game. It's a classic down in South America, so I'm sure everybody's going to be tuning in for that one.
In Liga MX, we got the semifinal, El Clásico Nacional. Chivas Femenil versus América. It's going to be a good one. This is always one that we see in the playoffs in Liga MX Femenil. You're going to pack the stadiums. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be mayhem. Two amazing stacked squads. It's really up in the air in this game.
To finish it off, we got Peru against Venezuela in CONMEBOL. You have Peru, who have 1 point this whole CONMEBOL qualifiers for the World Cup. Let's see if Juan Reynoso can help this team out.
All right, let's bring it on home, man. Let's, folks, we got a whole bunch of stuff planned for this end of the year, for the beginning of the year. Like we said, that conference we got coming up in January. We got some really fun stuff that we can't disclose just yet. But right at the turn of the new year, you guys will start seeing a lot more details. And if you guys are in the Discord, maybe we'll start dropping some golden nuggets in there for people, some sneak peeks. But like we always say, subscribe, follow us on social media, share us with a friend. That's how we grow. And we appreciate every single one of you guys for listening. We'll talk to you soon.
Peace.